U.S. immigration officials may deport migrants to countries other than their home nations with as little as 6 hours notice. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement will generally wait at least 24 hours to deport someone after informing them of their removal to a so-called third country. A memo dated Wednesday, July 9th, from the agency's acting director, Todd Lyons, was released. ICE could remove them, however, to a so-called third country with as little as 6 hours notice in exigent circumstances, said the memo. The memo states that migrants could be sent to nations that have pledged not to persecute or torture them without the need for further procedures. The new ICE policy suggests President Donald Trump's administration could move quickly to send migrants to countries around the world. The Supreme Court in June lifted a lower court's order limiting such deportations without a screening for fear of persecution in the destination country. Following the High Court's ruling and a subsequent order from the justices, the Trump administration sent 8 migrants from Cuba, Laos, Mexico, Myanmar, Sudan, and Vietnam to South Sudan. The administration last week pressed officials from 5 African nations, Liberia, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Mauritania, and Gabon, to accept deportees from elsewhere. Third country deportations have been done in the past, but the tool could be more frequently used as Trump tries to ramp up deportations to record levels.
Today, we wanted to gather and talk about all of the excellent work that these officers behind us are doing every single day to make America safe again. It's been about 6 months now since President Trump has come into office as President of the United States. And as you know, he has a mandate from the American people to clean up our streets, to help make our communities safer, and has given me the job of focusing on Homeland Security. And how we do that is that we focus on making sure that we're not only securing our border each and every day, knowing who's coming into this country, and who should not be coming into our country, but also the illegal criminal aliens that we have on our streets, getting them out before they perpetuate more crimes and create more victims out of our families that live in our communities. Today, I wanted to focus on some of the work that's being done here in Florida, specifically in Tampa by these officers behind me. And I wanted to call on all the American people to support our law enforcement officers. What we're seeing across the country is unspeakable as far as the increase in violence against those who are upholding the rule of law. Listen, under President Trump's administration, there is no more winners and losers. There is the rule of law, and the law is applied equally to everybody. Every single individual in this country will be treated fairly, and we will uphold our law because that is what the American people asked for. We have, since President Trump has been in office, arrested over 286,000 illegal aliens. We have also recognized that 70% of those individuals have had criminal charges convicted. They were convicted of them, or they have them pending against them. By far, we have focused overwhelmingly day after day after day on bringing in the worst of the worst and getting them off of our streets. Those are the murderers, the rapists, the pedophiles, those who would perpetuate child pornography. They would traffic drugs and traffic our children and use violence against them. Notably, we have arrested 600 known or suspected terrorists off of our streets, and we've arrested over 2,700 known members of the Tren de Aragua gang and gotten them out of the United States of America. I want to give you a few examples today of the good work that's been done here in Florida and specifically here in Tampa as well. In March, ICE Tampa arrested a 27-year-old Guatemalan illegal alien who has a pending felony charge for cruelty towards a child. We also have, earlier this week, an illegal alien was arrested right here in Tampa for producing, possessing, and distributing child pornography. Listen to that, not just for possessing it, not just for distributing it, but also producing it and committing victims out of our children. On July 7th, HSI, Sarasota, and the Manatee County Sheriff's Office arrested a Mexican national with an outstanding warrant for sexual battery of a victim under the age of 12 years old. HSI Tampa also arrested a 24-year-old citizen of Qatar who has an Interpol red notice against him for child rape in his home country. A 35-year-old Venezuelan illegal alien had been previously arrested in New York City for assault with a weapon. In New York City, of course, they released him. Released him without any consequences, but ICE was able to take him into custody. HSI Tampa arrested him just here in June. We are bringing these individuals to bear for the consequences of the crimes that they have committed. Specifically, those that I addressed today are against our children and shows truly the deranged monsters that they are. This is what President Trump has committed to the American people. What I've committed to the American people as the Secretary of Homeland Security is that we will continue to go after these that would commit crimes and violence against our citizens. We'll get them off of our streets, and we'll do it as fast as possible so that families can sleep safely in their beds at night. We also recognize that child sex crimes are truly the worst crimes perpetuated by the worst and most evil individuals. These depraved monsters are on America's streets today. There are more of them, and they're out in our neighborhoods, and we will find them, and we will bring them to justice. Now, in front of me, you also see a table filled with paraphernalia, with drugs, with guns that were brought in and confiscated by these outstanding officers behind me and many others. We have 25 kilograms of cocaine, several firearms that were seized by our heroic DHS law enforcement officers over the last 2 weeks here in Florida. Yet, thanks to the courage of our ICE and HSI officers, these drugs will never be able to poison our families. They'll never be on the streets of our communities again, and these firearms will never be used to hurt an innocent citizen. They'll never be used to cause a parent to lose a child, or a father to lose a daughter, for a wife or a spouse to lose each other, or for a grandfather to never grow up never knowing their daughter or their granddaughter. Thanks to the courage of all these individuals, we know that the rioters won't win, that the criminal thugs that are out there attacking individuals that are trying to uphold the law are not going to win, and that open border politicians who are trying to defend those evil individuals by obstructing ICE's mission will not be successful. We will be stronger than they are. We will be bolder than they are. We will enforce the law, and we will bring justice to the United States of America. Those individuals that perpetuate these crimes and those who help them and facilitate it, and these elected officials, what they're doing is they're attacking, they're doxing, and they're trying to intimidate our brave law enforcement who put their lives on the line every single day to help keep us safe. ICE officers have faced again a 700% increase in violence against them and their families in the last 6 months. But what I will tell you is we continuously, every day, continue to see citizens from across this country sign up and want to be an ICE officer. We have people volunteering every day from other agencies to have their backs, to go out on the streets with them and to operate with them. And we are continuing to recruit good men and women of this country who love our freedom, who love our liberty, who want safety on their streets to come join us. We want you to come and help us push back on this evil rhetoric that is happening against law enforcement officers that are just out there trying to do their jobs every day. The men and women of the Department of Homeland Security are not going to quit. President Trump has given us a big job. He's given us a big job to fix what went wrong over the last several years in the United States. We had an invasion over our southern border, and the Biden administration let other countries empty out their worst of the worst into our country. Thousands of terrorists came into this country, thousands of people who are deranged individuals, murderers and rapists and child pedophiles. We have people that have come out of mental institutions that have been roaming our streets and still out there today, but we're determined to bring them in through the work that we do. I'll tell you that we will keep fighting every single day for the average American citizen who just wants to have a chance at the American dream. They just want to raise their kids and let them walk to school, go to church on a Sunday, and to enjoy their community, have a picnic, and not have to worry if there's some violent criminal ready to attack them. And now that the President's reconciliation bill, the big, beautiful bill, has passed, we also have more resources. We're going to come harder and faster, and we're going to take these criminals down with even more strength than we ever have before. We have the funding to put in the training, the resources, the salary, and the support for our law enforcement officers that they've never had before. We will never apologize for protecting our nation's law enforcement. We will continue to arrest these most dangerous criminals, and we are going to continue to thank our law enforcement officers. I would call on all Americans, if you have a law enforcement officer that you know in your life, go thank them today. Go cook their family a meal. Go spend some time with them and tell them how much you support them. As loud as these haters are, we should be louder in our love and our support. Don't be silent. Get out there and do something to have their backs and step up and be one of the few that helps us save our country too. We will take our country back. Now, I will always have their back. They will have the American citizens' back, and you are all doing the Lord's work. with that, I'll take any questions that you may have for me.
Secretary Noem, on
Yes.
the issue of Florida and
Yes.
issues, there's been reports of sort of water intrusion, air condition issues at Alligator Alcatraz, and some issues that have deteriorated conditions there. Is that something your department is aware of? Do you have any thoughts on kind of how that's gone since it's initially been rolled out? And I know you were supportive of it.
Yeah, Alligator Alcatraz is held to the same standards that all federal facilities are, and in most states and in other jurisdictions, federal facilities are upheld to a higher quality of standards than what some state and local jurisdictions have. So any issues that were there have been addressed. It's a fantastic resource for us to be able to utilize in order for a detention facility to repatriate people back home to their home countries. And what I would say that this is Alligator Alcatraz is a state-run facility run on our behalf, but we're incredibly grateful for the partnership that we have with Florida.